So I mean, you're gonna like start off like over here, and obviously you end off over here. So what it does is that operation z, which is like we're having like a formula to actually add two values in. So we do a sum of whatever is within the sliding window, and for this case is this guy and this guy. And so that's like operation x. Operation x is that we want the max value within the sliding window. And one of like the rule book is like indicate is that operation e, which is that we have um, the rule book that is actually stating this, that the values have to actually be contiguous towards each other. So meaning they got to be side by side. So that's one of like the rule book that's been identified of as such. So obviously like when you come to this point, you always have like a box to actually store the value of as such. So this one is basically like the sum box, I'll call it. So like within this sliding window, like three, if say like your sliding window is like over here, so what it's going to calculate is like 3 plus 4, I mean it's equals to 7, so it's going to be calculated over here, right? So operation W is very much saying that, okay, I'm gonna actually calculate the sum of maybe say the values, everything like in sliding window. So it's gonna calculate the sum within like the sliding window. So and then we're gonna plant it into say the sum box. So which happens over here. So 3 plus 4 equals to 7, so it comes over here, right? So and obviously when we do start out, from here, right? So it was actually at the start very pathetic. I mean it's just literally just this value. So obviously like when you do this thing, it's like what you're actually introducing is basically operation F, which is you introducing like a sliding window property into the place over here. So and what this sliding window is, it also like introduces like the character of like maybe say the left pointer and the right pointer, which they actually describe a lot about while they were actually doing the explanation. So they were doing a lot of this. So they will introduce the LNR and maybe say the window starting over here, and then at a certain point that say the window become over here, it's because they have like a left pointer and right pointer. There's the manipulation of like the left and right pointer to be shifted according based on how what we want. And so is we introduce this character, it got to shift according to my rulebook standards of what we want it to actually do. So for the most part is this. We start off like the sliding window to be here, and the thing to actually consider right now is this, that like another of like the rulebook operation G is that the rulebook is stating this. The rulebook is saying that I want the value to be max as well. So like within like the sliding window, I want it to be max. That is like the one of like the biggest consideration to actually occur. So I'm gonna start off over here, and that's the constant reminder that I got to do. So each time I actually do a new move like this one, I got to ask like new questions. So mainly I think there's like 3 questions that I want to ask. So and the first question that I do need to actually ask is this. So I have 3 different states. So the first state is previous value, and what this means is that I'm gonna take all the values based on my past, or I can choose to ignore it. So I'm gonna do a hard reset. So my value will become a 0, and the third option is this. This is like the sum of like say all my previous value. The third option is take left sum, ignore right sum. So what this means is that at a certain point later on that we were gonna actually talk about, so I'll leave it that for later. So obviously we have used here, right? So now when we actually take this value over here, our consideration is this, like is there like a possibility that I gonna use maybe say my right sum will be more than my left individual value. So it's comparing left sum, it's comparing right sum, and it's also comparing individual sum. It's also considering individual sum. So my idea is this, that that you can either take this guy over here, or take the whole pie over here, or you can take this pie over here. So each time they actually consider going, it's like this multiple 3-step process that you actually have to actually consider. So you can consider to take this, you can consider to take this, you can consider to take this, right? So when I take this, I have the future of saying that, okay, maybe possibly that me going to the right areas, I'm gonna have like a good sort of like return of investment in the long run. So that's the term that I'm gonna use. So if you were to see based on like the two perspectives, is saying this, that it's like operation H that states that is the previous sum is it like a positive or a negative? So ideally, like a positive will be ideal, and then negative will be not ideal, right? So when you come to the accumulation of here, it's like a positive. Obviously this guy's perspective is say, come, I'm gonna take you in. So what it chose is that it chose like the option 3, which is take the left sum, right? It's like intuitively you will take that, right? But also you have the option to actually take just like the individual sum, which is a 4, and you can just take it home. So this guy, obviously I'm gonna, like, since it's the moment is like a positive value, I will choose to actually store it. See, so operation Z for this case is that I have positive, so or rather like a potential highest, I will store it in my box. So for this case, I'm just gonna store in my box, the sum box, and then I'm just gonna add maybe say like the 4 over here, right? So and then because that guy has like a potential, right? Because as long as it's positive, he has like a potential. And then we sort of consider to add the next value in. So the moment we add the next value in is, it's like, why not, right? Because the highest potential that we actually have, it's already been stored. So right now it's like all the more you can start to take risks, or rather that you can actually try as many options as possible. So in some sense, in how I actually try to actually explain it is that you're given like a bunch of items over here. It's like this big, and then what you're gonna get later, it might turn to be smaller, but it has the potential to become bigger. It might become bigger, or it might become smaller. So this guy is like big, but your next value is like small, but the potential, it's like it can go either big or small. But at the end of the day, it's like each time you reach, like, say a big value, you straight away plug it in already. So you already got a big value, you already store it, and it's already back up. So doesn't matter if you end up in having like a small value, you can always like choose at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, you can either choose, like, say, to have like this big item, or maybe say the small item. And then before the run, you already say that you have stored the big one. So now your choice is this: you are going for the run. And so, like, at the start, you got a big, okay, so it's being recorded over here. As you go through the run, you suddenly end up with a small one. And then at the end of the day, you still can choose the big or small. Obviously, you're gonna pick the big one. But there's also like a potential that you hit even a bigger one. And then you can put it over here. And then your end value might be ultra big. So what it's actually saying that is that, like, here there's like a potential of like ultra big, and you start off with big, or rather over here you might get just like maybe a small value perhaps. So at the end of the day, you can, when you go through the run, you got to actually make the run. If you choose to make the run, you can potentially make this, which is really good. But if you got unlucky and you get a small one, doesn't matter, because you still can actually always go back and choose back to get the big one. So that's the logic. So that's why you actually have to actually continue to make the run like this. So that's why we make the step like this. So now we come here, we take this value, this one obviously it becomes like 3. It's not bigger than that stuff over here. But now we are thinking about the next step. For this guy's perspective is that I have only just this one rule. As long as like the previous is like positive, I'm good. So it's a 3. Okay, good. I'm gonna take you in. So what's gonna actually happen? 3 plus 2, it's a 5, right? Now I actually have like a new bigger sum, which is these 3 folks over here. So obviously from this guy's perspective, it's saying that, yo, these guys are huge, man, huge. So obviously he's gonna like take it in, and that's why they talk about like this guy becoming like a -2. But cool. So now here's the question. It's like the previous sum like a positive. So obviously a positive is good, So I'm gonna like take you in, and obviously if it's like negative, it's not good. So what you gotta do is actually do a hard reset to 0. You can kind of like do that. So what's gonna actually happen for this guy's perspective, previously it's all like maybe say like negative. Obviously I don't want to take you in, I do a hard reset, and then I just gonna count on my own. So therefore this guy is like a 3, and we go through the algorithm again of as such. And obviously like the previous sum is like a, this guy perspective is like, oh, previous is all like positive, obviously I'm going to take you in, so 3 plus 4, and now even I get a new sum over here, and this is like even the like newest biggest sum, because from the very start we chose to take the risk and we are rewarded. If we didn't choose to take the risk, I mean we're going to end up with like a 4 of such, right? So I mean, the moment like the rulebook is like asking me, okay, I need you to give me values that are like contagious. So immediately you will start actually to actually think about is that, okay, maybe I need to cast like I need to bring out this character, say a, I need to pull out this guy called sliding window, um, because what it does is that like the sliding window, it's able to actually cover contagious. One special feature is that it's actually able to actually do that, right? When you talk about values, you talk about orders, it's like sliding window is able to actually contain that for me. And when you talk about like, oh, I want the max value, like I will straight away start to think of like maybe say like the characters to be, for this very simple case is that I can either pull out this guy that is like a storage system, so it's just like a simple box. Okay, I'm gonna store like the largest value whatsoever. But if there's like a case where you need to like compare a lot of like values, I may even like consider there to be some form of like max heap, if there's like a need to compare. But obviously this one is like just a simple storage system, simple one value system, so there's no need for me to actually do that. So this guy is only when I need to actually compare multiple values of as such. But obviously for this case it's just like this one value from how I actually see it. I'm just wondering what the hell is this? What did I write over here? What is this? FOR. Forward or what? There, oh, formula sum, sliding window. Okay, okay. Uh, I mean, the first instinct that I can actually think of is like, a lot of times like rule book, right, they will actually introduce you to this certain formula, and you have to actually obey it. You need to oblige to it, right? So that's something for you to actually consider when you head down to do your algorithms data, is that um, um, at the back of it, you got to like introduce like the formula. Sometimes it's like you have like these values, and that you got to uh, add the difference plus 1. Sometimes it's that, sometimes is what they give us like for this problem. So what I'm trying to say is that it's very much rulebook specific, I'll say. Yeah, it's very rulebook specific. So now that I look at this, after all the calculation, is that this individual sum is actually being taken care of already. It's being taken care of over here. Whatever these guys does is that they make sure that my individual sum is being secured. So that this part, it got taken care of. So this actually narrows it down. When I kind of like look at it, it has like this simple logic, which is that I can choose to actually take my previous values, as long as it's like a positive, it will be great and all. Or I can choose to reset it. So it's either I take it or I leave it. It's all about like the previous guys. If it's like positive, I'm gonna take you in. Negative, I'm not gonna take you in, and I'm gonna do a reset. So to answer towards that question is this operation over here simply. And I mean, for like the objective of like this whole thing that we are considering is because we want our values to be max value. As simple as that. That's our at our back of it. And not only that individual sum is like secured, we also proceed, we also proceed to potentially get high values, like even higher values. That's the power of like taking the risk to actually go down. path, right? So yep, with that everything comes to an end.